African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of December 6, 2025. In response to Ukrainian terrorist attacks on civilian targets in Russia, the Russian armed forces launched a massive strike tonight using long-range, air, and land-based precision weapons, including Kinzhal aeroballistic hypersonic missiles and long-range unmanned aerial vehicles, targeting Ukrainian military-industrial complex enterprises and the energy facilities that support their operation, as well as port infrastructure used by the Ukrainian armed forces. The strike's objectives were achieved. All designated targets were hit. Units of the North Group of Forces defeated formations of an infantry brigade, an assault regiment of the Ukrainian armed forces, and two territorial defense brigades near the settlements of Oleksivka, Andriivka, Rizevka, Starikovo, and Khotin in Sumy Oblast. In the Kharkiv direction, units of a mechanized and motorized infantry brigade of the Ukrainian armed forces were defeated near the settlements of Bayrak, Proltarsk, Vilcha, Lyman, and Vovchinsky Kotora in Kharkiv Oblast. The Ukrainian armed forces lost over 285 service members, an armored combat vehicle, 15 vehicles, an artillery piece, and 2 ammunition and supply depots. Units of the West Group of Forces took up more advantageous positions and lines. The Ukrainian armed forces defeated the personnel and equipment of 2 mechanized brigades, an airmobile brigade, and a National Guard brigade near the settlements of Kupianska Zlovaya, Shikovka, Novosinovo, Blagodatovka, Kurilovka, and Novoplatinovka in the Kharkiv region and Dniprova in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost up to 235 service members and 3 armored combat vehicles, including a U.S.-made HMMWV armored vehicle, 18 pickup trucks, 3 field artillery guns, 3 electronic warfare stations, and 8 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the Southern Group of Forces improved their tactical position. They defeated units of 4 mechanized brigades, an airborne assault brigade of the Ukrainian armed forces, a marine brigade, a territorial defense brigade, and a National Guard brigade near the settlements of Stepanivka, Seversk, Chervon, Slovyansk, Reznikovka, and Konstantinivka in the Donetsk People's Republic. The Ukrainian armed forces lost over 175 service members, 4 armored combat vehicles, 10 vehicles, and 2 artillery pieces, 3 electronic warfare stations, an ammunition depot, and 5 supply depots were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces improved their position along the forward edge and continued to destroy the Ukrainian Armed Forces group encircled in the village of Dmitrov in the Donetsk People's Republic. The personnel and equipment of 3 mechanized brigades, an airborne assault brigade, 3 assault regiments of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, 2 Marine brigades, a territorial defense brigade, and 2 National Guard brigades were damaged near the settlements of Rodinsk, Turetsk, Krashino, Artemivka, and Belitsk in the Donetsk People's Republic, and Novopizhera and Novopavlivka in Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. Ukrainian armed forces lost up to 465 servicemen, a tank, 5 armored combat vehicles, including a Max Pro armored car and a U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carrier, 4 vehicles, and an artillery piece. Units of the East Force Group continued to advance deeper into the enemy's defenses. Defeated formations of a mechanized assault brigade, 2 assault regiments of the Ukrainian armed forces, and 2 territorial defense brigades near the settlements of Kozovtsiv, Belogori, Huliapol, and Pryluki in Zaporizhia Oblast. The enemy lost up to 235 servicemen, 9 armored combat vehicles, 18 vehicles, a Grad multiple launch rocket system combat vehicle, and 2 electronic warfare stations. Units of the Dnipro Forces Group defeated the manpower and equipment of a mountain assault brigade and 2 coastal defense brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces near the settlements of Magdalenivka in Zaporizhia Oblast, Lviv, Nikolsky, Antonivka and Kherson Oblast, and the city of Kherson. Up to 55 Ukrainian Armed Forces servicemen, an armored combat vehicle, 12 vehicles, 2 electronic warfare stations, and 5 ammunition, material, and fuel depots were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, attack drones, missile forces, and artillery of the Russian Armed Forces troop groups struck energy and transport infrastructure facilities used by the Ukrainian Armed Forces, as well as a military technical equipment depot, and temporary deployment points for Ukrainian armed forces and foreign mercenaries in 152 districts. Air defense systems shot down 2 U.S.-made HIMARS multiple launch rockets and 366 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. Since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 668 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 100,788 unmanned aerial vehicles, 638 anti-aircraft missile systems, 26,412 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,627 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 31,740 field artillery pieces and mortars, 48,468 special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.